Hello amazing artists, this is Mr. D, and for today's video we are going to create a small painted tree. So these are the materials that you will need for today. You will need a twig of some sort or a small branch. You'll need a bunch of little rocks, and you will need the bottom half of like a bottle, like a water bottle. You'll also need blue, red, yellow paint and a paintbrush. So ask an adult before you go outside to collect the twig and the rocks, or you can ask an adult if they will help you go outside and find some. But you will need red, yellow, blue paint, a twig of some sort, and a bunch of rocks, and the bottom half of a bottle of some sort, like a water bottle. Okay, so if you need to go find those things, you can go ahead and press pause on the video. If you already have them, you can keep playing the video and we will go ahead and get started. So for today's lesson, we're almost doing sort of like a color mixing lesson. So we know that the three primary colors are red, blue, and yellow. So all the other colors can be made from our three primary colors. So what we're going to do today is we're going to mix some of our primary colors in order to create some secondary colors. So let's go ahead, and I'm getting out my paintbrush. Let's go ahead and mix some colors. Now you see I've got some blue in this cup, so that's ready to go. I've got some yellow in this cup and some red in this cup, so those cups are ready to go. But here I've got some blue and some red on their own. So let's see if I were to mix, and let me get a small little cup to mix, or to put some water in, because remember, whenever we clean our brushes, we will need a small little thing of water and some paper towel. But let's go ahead and see if we were to mix some yellow into our red, what color we would get. So I'm going to just put a little bit of yellow in there, not much because we won't need a lot. Then I'm going to take my paintbrush and I'm just going to mix those together. I may have to put just a little bit more yellow, but we should start getting an orangish color. So I'm going to put just a little bit more yellow in there. And let's mix some more yellow. And when I mix red and yellow together, I get orange. So now I'm going to clean off my brush just a little bit. And let's see what color we can add to our blue. Let's try adding some yellow to our blue. So I added some yellow. I'm going to clean off my brush all the way. So after I put it in my water, I'm going to bring it out and then clean it with my paper towel. Put it in the water again. Clean it with my paper towel. Set my paper towel aside. Let's go ahead and mix our blue and our yellow. And you can see as I'm mixing my blue and my yellow together, we get green. So red and yellow make orange, blue and yellow make green. And a little bit later we're going to mix some blue and red together, and blue and red make purple. So since I've already got some green on my paintbrush, let's go ahead and paint part of my branch green. So I'm going to go ahead and up through here, we're going to make it multicolored. I'm just going to paint a little bit of green in different areas, spreading out the areas. Just paint one side, because then we'll let this side dry and paint the other side. So once I've got some green on there, I'm going to switch colors, but before I switch colors, remember I need to clean out my brush, so I'm going to put it inside of my water cup. And after I do that, I'm going to clean it off with my paper towel. And let's move to our orange. And let's begin painting some with our orange. Just in some places where I didn't really get my branch with my green, And even some places where you did get some green, if you want to just go over a little bit with orange, because this is more of an abstract piece, so it's really just whatever you're feeling. Okay, so after we do that, we're going to clean off our brush again. And we're going to move on to our next color, so let's move to just blue. So with our blue, I'm going to pick up my stick and my twig and just add some blue, especially in the places, I don't have many places where I don't have paint at this point, but especially in places where you don't see any paint, you want to make sure we cover the entire stick with paint. So now I'm going to throw this paper towel away and get a new one, but I'm going to let my paintbrush sit in the water so that it can soak before we change colors. So now let's clean it with our paper towel after it's set there for a minute. And let's move to yellow. And I pretty much have, on this side anyways, all of my parts of my tree colored in. So I'm just adding some yellow spots in different places where I want to add it. Okay, so just like this. So now that side is painted. We're not even going to move to the red because we've got a lot of paint on that side. And I'm going to, since mine sort of extends up here and this little part of the stick is going to hold it up so that the paint doesn't smear, I'm going to go ahead and turn mine over and paint the other side. If yours does not do that, then what you can do is you can let it dry, press pause, and then come back once it's dried. Okay? So starting on this side, I'm going to make sure I have a clean paintbrush. Then we'll go to the blue again because I'm going to change my blue to purple in just a minute. So I'm going to paint some spots blue. And after I paint blue, I'm going to stick my brush back inside of my water, clean it off, and then I'll paint with some red since last time I didn't get to paint with some red. I'm not going to mix the blue and red just yet, so only find places that I didn't get with my blue a minute ago to paint with your red. And now what I'm going to do, I don't really have to clean it that much because I'm going to mix my blue and my red together to make purple. So I'm just going to take a little bit of blue and mix it in with my red. Get a little bit more of it. Mix it in with my red. And that's going to give us a purple color. So red and yellow makes orange. Yellow and blue makes green, and red and blue makes purple. So now that I've got my purple, I'm going to paint some empty parts of my twig with the purple paint that I just made using my red and blue. Then I'm going to clean off my brush. And after I clean it off, I'm going to add a little bit of green to this side. So I'm going to get the little bit of green on my paintbrush. And I've got most of the spots filled in. So I'm just going to add some green here and there where I want to add it. Okay, I'm going to clean off my paintbrush and add just a little bit of yellow to this side. Again, I'm just going to add it in random places because I've got most of my twig filled with color now. The yellow just sort of makes it pop because it's a lot brighter than the other colors. So now I'm going to very carefully turn this. Now on my sides I've got some spots that are not colored in, so I'm going to go back with some orange and color in those spots. And check this side. And color in any spots that I see that need to be colored in. Okay, and I will let that rest for a minute. So what I'm going to do now, and you need to wait until it's dry. I'm just showing you this so you can see what to do at the end once they're dry. I'd go ahead and stick my twig into the center of the cutout bottle, and then I'm going to start filling it with rocks. So right now my twig is going to get paint on the rocks because it's not dry yet. But this is what you'll do after your twig has dried. The rocks are going to hold the twig in place so that it doesn't move or fall out of the cup. So now I've got a cool abstract design mini tree. I'm going to try to put it this way. A cool mini tree. It's going to dry and it will be a cool little art piece. So I'm going to let this sit and dry. Once yours is dry, you can fill it with rocks, and then you'll have your cool little painted abstract tree. So I hope everybody has an awesome rest of their day, and goodbye.